I'm going live on Facebook, hello, and YouTube, hello. And in a minute, I'll be live on Instagram. Hello. Guys, I'm so happy to see you. Listen, if you haven't already, let a friend know. Please let a friend know that I am live right now. I mean week. Oh, wait a second. I'm placing my devices ready to go. So, we've just been hit with a global pandemic and we do not know what to do. But guess what? I want you to know that however this pandemic found you, it is going to leave and leave you the better for it. I've been sending out these posts, I've been putting out videos, letting you guys know, listen, you already have everything you need for you to thrive. You have absolutely everything. Why? Because it's not this pandemic that makes you, but it's everything that you have been able to accumulate, everything you've been able to do thus far. Think about this. When you go for interviews and there is a new position related to your area, but slightly off tangent, what did you do? You rolled with the punches, you improvised, you adapted. Similarly, so here. It's just that in this context, because there's so many people that are affected, because just the other day I was looking at the unemployment rates in the US, for instance. It just sounds like, look, if 10 million are out of work, like who am I to think that I could have work? If 10 million people, who are qualified are all struggling with their situations at the moment, who am I to say that, I will do better off than the rest? There is the thing when we get in a context, of a group context or a crowd, that we think if all of them, when you start counting numbers, if all of them are in a situation where they're compromised, who do I think I am to stand out of this entire crowd of people that are really competent? Now, listen, I'm not here to talk about everybody else that you're facing. I'm not here to talk about every, family and person. I'm just here to talk about you. So when you zoom out of, so many of us are in this situation. Thank you so much, Irene. Thank you. So many of us are in this situation. I know so many people who are better qualified than me that are in this situation. Who do I think? You're already setting yourself up for failure. If you're already asking yourself, who am I? Then you're already saying, look, what's coming is coming and I cannot brace against it. I want you to switch that real quick. I want you to say, who am I not to? And I don't even want you to leave it at the question, who am I not to? I actually want you to go a little further and take inventory of all that you are, all that you have done and accomplished thus far. Every situation where you had to be in transition, where you had to be, guys, when I do this, my kids are loud, and this is my sign to my husband and my kids to keep it down. We have a system that we're working with here. So when you guys hear me do that under the table, which I do almost in every video, it's, hey guys, tone it down. So I just prompted the toning down right now. Going back to topic. So we're not going to get overwhelmed that, listen, this is a global pandemic. It's huge, it's everybody. We're not going to go to the point where you're looking at people around you in your market, you're saying, I know they're a whole lot more qualified than I am. I know that, that organization seemed to be the most stable in the market. And so right now, if they're going through it, who am I not to? Instead, rather than asking who am I not to, or say what do I have that's different, I want us today to be very deliberate about designing. You see my eyes darting everywhere? I have YouTube, I have Instagram and Facebook at the same time. So I want us to be very deliberate about designing the profile. I want you to be very deliberate about, and this is key, this is so, so key. Please do not have a knee jerk. You guys know a knee jerk reaction when that bone on your knee gets hit and you cannot help it and your knee just opens up. Please, please, please do not have a knee jerk reaction to what is happening. Even if you are floundering, barely treading water, you feel like you are drowning, I want you to stay cool and collected, even if at the bottom you're like this. I want you to stay cool and collected so that you can review what is currently happening in light of your wider plans, of your personal, professional, financial, family goals. because there will be opportunities. Now, listen, listen, listen. I say this a lot. People always have an agenda. It doesn't necessarily mean that when people come to you with an agenda that it is necessarily malicious. But such is human nature that if I'm going to relate with you, I'm relating with you for a reason, right? If I'm relating with you, it's because there is something I can do for you or you can do for me. And so people relate with each other, have conversations with this in mind. If you are panicking during this crisis, and if you feel you are so disadvantaged, you will get some offers, you will get opportunities, you will get terms that in the moment you feel as if, God, you have seen me. I will take whatever it takes to put food on the table. I am asking you, give me this week to hear me out before you go accepting anything on any terms simply because you feel as if, look, I should be grateful to even have anything come my way. All right? Is that a good? Can we agree to that? You give me just this week of your time. I'm going to go live daily this week. And in this 1 week, I'll help you not only just grab whatever comes your way, I'll help you be very mindful of who you are, what you have built thus far, which, guys, you will see is great, and where you want to go and where you are going to go, even, before coronavirus hit us. And then you will so position yourself that anybody and anything that comes your way, you'll be able to look at it in light of what you had prepared. So I printed out some of the templates that I use on many of my programs, and we're going to go through them today. Okay, so today's session is all about career planning. We're not going to have knee-jerk reactions. We're not going to feel like, listen, if you don't take this opportunity on these terms right now, we're not going to get another. No, 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 we're not going to do that. We're instead going to take stock of who we are, why we're here, where we were going before we're all hit in the face a million miles an hour. And therefore, even if right now we may feel as if, man, I have nothing to leverage, I have nothing to see. I mean, if these people know I haven't paid rent, my utilities are up, school fees, I mean, I don't even know what schools are doing with kids at home right now. I don't want you to panic. I don't want you, for the temporary relief, to make decisions over your life, your career, your family's future, that when you get on the other side of coronavirus and the other side of lockdowns and not earning, you're like, man, this is going to take an entire season of my life to get over. We do not want that. So let's get to the content. Remy, I love you. I need to say this to you guys. Remy Male, when she comes on, when I'm on live, like, she sends these hearts, 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 or she sends these likes, likes. Like, I get distracted by that. I'm like, the laugh, that laugh. Anyway, so today is about career planning. Tomorrow we'll review your CVs. You're not going to send me your CVs, but I'll tell you how you can do that to position the best that you can. The day after, we'll look at cover letters. And the day after that, what did I say we're doing? We're also going to look at interviewing. And the day after, look at negotiations. And on Saturday, guys, I have an amazing program on how to increase your income and your value. Guys, I'm not saying my topic right in times of crisis. So if you are panicking at a point where you're saying, Modesta, not only am I losing income, but Modesta, I am also losing my value. Like, how do I explain the gaps? How do I explain? I heard of somebody who recently just got a job and then had to get laid off. How do I explain how I just got a job and got laid off? Yes, there was a global pandemic, but listen, there are people who continue working and there are people who continue growing. And so if you say, okay, so my company was downsizing and I got laid off, well, people might say, well, if there were others that stayed on, maybe there is something quite not right with you, right? So there is that question, right? So when they were laying people off, you were laid off, but others were still there in your department, maybe in your area. So question mark about you. So we want to address all these things. Not only will you see how to continue to constantly earn and to diversify, you're earning. So not just your job and not just your, maybe your business, what you're doing. Let's find ways of diversifying our incomes. That way we're spreading the risk so that I can earn from this. Well, maybe this is tottering, or if I'm taking less money from here, at least this one is bringing in. That way you're constantly earning, but also because you're not just grabbing anything that life is bringing you, you're doing things that actually enhance your profile, that actually that add value to your CV. So I've got a comment here. Modesta, we could even reach out in time to negotiate with our debtors, plan from a human perspective. Absolutely. Everybody at this point, Remy, this is so good. Everybody at this point is actually very receptive to having conversations. So you have debtors that are saying, sorry, creditors that are saying that, listen, I'd rather come up with a plan for you to pay a little or pay less over time than you not pay at all, or then lose you as a client at all. So it is actually, we have more power. This is what I'm seeing Remy saying. We have more power in this time than we think if we have the right estimation of ourselves. And this is what I want to do this week. I really want you to have the right estimation of who you are and what you're capable of doing. So let's start with the career planning. This is where I want us to start. And it might seem counterproductive. Guys, I told you when I do this, my kids are starting to get a little loud. It might seem counterproductive, or it might seem like, Modesta, nobody has time to do those existential, philosophical, who am I, why am I here, where am I going? Listen, you will see at the end of this why this is so key for you to be able to do this. So the first thing is, and I start with this often, don't I? Values. I want you guys to ask yourselves, what are my values? And what do I mean when I talk about values? Because I'm doing an hour here, so I need to speed it up. What I mean when I talk about values is those principles, those standards by which you say, this is who I am. This is how I conduct myself. This is how I expect others to conduct themselves by me. This is how far I will go in my engagement with the world and no further. And this is how far I will let you come in and no further. Why is it important to start with your values? Because you could get to a place where simply because of being grateful for the opportunity that is before you, that you engage in things that later you're thinking, we don't share values. And by the way, I'm not even just talking about where it's blatantly people doing unethical things, people doing, engaging with unscrupulous characters. No, no, no. They're just times that you might be engaged in something. You're thinking whether it is the speed with which they move, whether it is the scope of the area that they're engaged in, whether it's going to be, even the target audience that they're targeting. Wait a second, we're not talking to the same people, and we don't want to do the same thing. So it is very key before you go putting yourself out there to engage with others to ask yourself, what are my values? And what I have here in my sheet, guys, you can't even take a picture of this. I wish you could. But what I have here is what I use for the master plan class, and I use this with my executive coaching clients as well, is just a one-pager plan, which starts with your values. So you would note down, let's say, your top 5 most values. So if a value to you is equipping people, if a value to you is your family first, if a value to you is having impact, if value to you is excellence, if a value of yours is wealth, hello, wealth is a whole value. If those are your values, you're not going to align with anything that doesn't take you there. I was just presented with an opportunity, and I'm going to have a conversation with some people this afternoon that doesn't pay, but it would add great value. Not only would I be contributing towards that area, which is something near and dear to my heart, but in the context I am in at the moment, where I'm mostly serving clients, and when you're serving clients, you can't turn around, you're like, hey, rub my back too, can you do me a favor? No, be professional, give the service, move on with your life, right? So I am not really networking, interacting as much as I'd like to. So now that I've met an organization that shares my values and I'm able to engage with them, there are things I will get out of this engagement that are far greater than the initial monetary returns. So write down your values, right? We're talking about career planning today. Tomorrow will be CV reviews. The day after is us going through the essentials of a cover letter, and then we'll look at job interviewing, what to make sure not to leave out, as well as in your negotiation. And in negotiation, I already got Remy saying you can negotiate not only for the new opportunities, you can negotiate with your current ones. All right. We will not only survive, people will thrive in times of crisis. Second thing is purpose. Who am I? Why am I here? Now, I have a lot of people, during my programs, because I really put purpose ahead. People are like, Modesta, can I just succeed in life without knowing my purpose? What's the big deal? So, the big deal about purpose is that you are wired with certain skills, with certain strengths, with certain things that target your heart. If I were to say I am out here putting out a petition for climate change, not everybody would be moved. But there's some people who would give their all towards climate change. If I'm out here saying, we're starting something for women, there's some people who say, oh, finally. There are other people who say, that's nice. But, women, men, we're all the same. So different people are wired to resonate with different things. And it is key in these times of crisis when you are planning your career to know what moves you, because then you can position yourself to attract those kind of engagements in your life. So why do you feel that you are here? What kind of things, ever since you were younger, you feel that they got to you? Either you absolutely loved engaging in those kind of pursuits, or some things that absolutely got to you and you said, if I got into a position, if I had the finances, if I had the power, if I was in a decision-making position, this is something that I would stand for. What kind of things, when you engage in, you don't even notice time go by? And what other things, like you could just skip over? These point to your purpose. So remember your values, because you're about to go out there and present yourself as available for opportunities during these times of crisis. And you do not want to partner up with organizations that don't share your values. And remember, values isn't just about your morals and ethics. It could just well be what is a priority to them. What are the principles in which they stand in their business and in their pursuits? What are the standards that they have? Like, I can't do mediocrity, guys. I can't do mediocrity in people, in relation. I can't. I can't. So if I'm going to be in a context where it's long-winded and bureaucratic, and people just pull their way through the day, I would lose it. So then, knowing that, I'm obviously not going to get engaged in areas like this. So your values, your purpose, and then vision. How will you live this world a better place? Who are you called to serve? What do you want to do for them? And what will it look like for them after you've done it successfully? Hmm? So I honestly, when you just pick through everything, you will find that I'm equipping purpose-driven leaders to drive market results with excellence. You will find that my heart rests with African professionals. You will find that I am completely convinced, and I know that Africa is going to be the leading economic region in the world. And so I am building that human capital, especially the leadership, to get it there. I absolutely expect you guys to be in corridors of power and decision making. I absolutely expect you to be heads of whatever organizations and initiatives that you're going to be part of. If not now, if not at the very onset, at some point in future. I believe this is who I'm speaking to. And the more I do this, the more I attract those kind of people. And you also can have a picture of that. Who really am I speaking to? What are their needs? How am I uniquely designed to address those needs? And when I do, what will it look like for them after I've done that? So then you also have a picture of the vision. When you have a picture of the vision, of course, there's a larger vision of your life. But even when you engage in a place, I recently had a conversation with somebody in in the master plan class. And she said, I know that I learn quickly and I quickly master an area and I'm ready to move on. But I'm not ready to move on from what I'm doing right now. And I said, why? She said, I haven't done what I came here to do. but I'm not clear, Modesta, what I came here to do. So it's good as you're looking at capturing the opportunities that are out there for you to ask yourself, who am I actually? What people, what constituency, what industry, what cause am I? Do I feel called to that I really want to invest my life? What vision do I have? Of when I have done what I came to do successfully, how I will leave that place, leave those people for the better because I came around. So have that guide you as well so that you can engage with organizations with similar visions, so that you can engage in things that will fulfill you. Because listen to this, I was speaking to somebody again recently. She had a side hustle. And this side hustle, she just walked into it. It's a great opportunity, a great profiled organization. So just being engaged with this organization was a good thing for her. But she hadn't thought through the negotiation of the contract that she was going to have with them. She hadn't thought through what she would be doing on a daily. So, first of all, she wasn't happy with the terms of her engagement. That's number one. Number two, the work wasn't really fulfilling. So she found herself dragging herself through this thing. And she wanted out, but she had just gotten in and didn't want to have the bad reputation of being a person who's fickle, a person who's not committed. And actually, in that context, she represented a completely different nationality from everybody else. And so she also felt, being a purpose driven person, she felt as if she wanted to give a good picture of the nationality that she represented, in this international context. And so what I said to her is, you're gonna make difficult decisions, but this is one thing that's really key for you to understand, even if it's a side hustle, guys, because we're going to talk about diversifying your income this week. We're going to talk about the different things that you can do, and we'll start today. Even if it's a side hustle, you're going to give your all. Only you know it's a side hustle. To them, whatever you committed to, that is full time for them. So 2 hours of your week doing XYZ, they expect you to deliver what? You're doing this thing as a side thing on the weekend. They expect you to show up like you do if you're doing an 8 to 5. So choose wisely. Find that they share a similar vision, and then look at your mission. Your vision is, what is the picture of success after you've done what you came to do for the target audience that you came to serve? Your mission is how. How are you going to do that? And the rest of what we're going to talk about today in your career planning is the how. How you're going to reach the people you're going to reach in the unique way that you've been built to reach them. So that as you're planning your career, instead of just having a knee-jerk reaction to, oh my goodness, God, I'll take the opportunity that comes my way. You are very mindful of what your strengths and skill sets are, of how you prefer, given your current context, your lifestyle, your family situation, etc., how you prefer to serve right now, and how you are uniquely positioned to do so that you can get engaged in things that will not require more or less of you than you mean to deliver through your mission. So your mission is really the how. How will you get to your vision? It's like if you have a destination, and in my book, Start Now with Purpose and a Master, if you want to go to the Bahamas, reach the Bahamas is your vision, then you're going to decide, am I going to swim to the Bahamas? Am I going to take a boat to the Bahamas? Am I flying to the Bahamas? What am I doing? How am I getting there? So the how is how you will fulfill your vision. And as you're planning your career in these times of crisis, it's also very key to choose how. So for instance, if you say, I am committed to doing this thing. I'll come in, and maybe you're teaching a class. I'm just going to make it something simple. 6 to 9 p.m. 6 to 9 p.m. Maybe you finish your job at 5 if some people are still moving around and they're not on lockdown. You're commuting there, maybe it takes you a long time. Maybe at that time of night that you're unable to get back on time, whatever it is. Maybe after a while you realize this wasn't really something I can commit to do, to show up for this time. Maybe what would have been better for you is for you on other people in that organization or in that context. And so you are unable to deliver because it depends on other people being able to do their bit for you to be able to execute. Or maybe you're agreeing to something which, simply because you wanted the money, but later when you look at it, you're doing far more then then the fair share given the exchange, but you've already committed to it. So I really want you to think through your values, purpose, vision, mission. Think of you first, people. But just so that when you do commit, I expect, look at me now, I sound like a parent, forgive me, guys. But truly, we're men and women of purpose. When we give our word, it should be our bond. Like we should be able to go down with our word, even if it takes us how long. So if you feel as if I'm getting into something and I can already hear the alarm bells, I mean, I already know this may not be the right thing. I just feel so desperate I'm taking it. That is extremely irresponsible. That is extremely unprofessional. So the only way that you will engage in something with your eyes wide open, with your heart ready, and with your mind laser focused to execute it to the end is when you can consider what are my values, my purpose, vision, and mission, so that I can engage with things in things that I know I can commit to because they resonate with who I am and where I'm going. Because I can give my all towards the cause, not just simply because I'm getting paid, but because I believe in doing the right thing and I believe in having impact. And then this is what you're going to do if you haven't already done it in your career planning. You're going to have goals. So, what are your goals? And we could talk about your career goals, for instance. And so you say, okay, my plan was to do this more years in this current position, and then, go for a higher position. Or my plan was to serve this more years in this organization, then I was going to go for vertical move to another organization. Or my plan was to do this for this long and then go for studies or to start my studies after this number of years of experience. What was your plan? Or if you didn't have one, think it through now. What goals do you have for your career? What goals can you create, coronavirus aside, for your career so that whatever it is that you're doing at the moment can feed into that, can add and can enhance, can get you closer to meeting those goals. So set goals. And this is what I often say to my clients: set 12-month goals. Anything longer than that, you could procrastinate. Anything longer than that, and with life happening all around you, and especially if you're just starting goal setting, you might get overwhelmed and decide, listen, I don't have the time, I don't have the finances, maybe I was a little too ambitious. I'm just, it's not practical for me to do it. So do something for 12 months. And in my plan that I do, the template that we have for the master plan, it has 12 months broken down into weeks so that when you write out your goals, you're very specific, measurable, achievable, results oriented, and time bound. It has to be goals you can execute within a certain time. And then you create the strategies how you can reach those goals given your current situation, your resources, and the actions. You will see how everything you're doing now is going to lead you to that career goal you have. Guys, we're talking about career planning in times of crisis. And I asked you, I said, I understand many of us are in a situation right now with thinking, Modesta, I don't even know how I'm going to survive April with my family. So anything that comes my way, I'm just going to take it. And I've asked you to give me a week of your time so that I can show you you don't have to. Of course, I understand when push comes to shove, you do what you have to do. But I want you to be very mindful. I want you to be awake. I want you to be deliberate about what it is you stand for, you want, you have planned for your life, so that you can see as best as you can to engage in things, in pursuits, in career opportunities that will bring you closer to your personal goals and your personal vision. This is what we're talking about. So now set your goals. So what are my career goals? In terms of professional level that I'd like to attain, it could be certification that you wanted, it could be experience. I've had some people working with me that want to position themselves as industry experts. There's some people that wanted to break out of the countries they were in and have a more regional reach. Other people wanted to get into board leadership so that, they've gone from being an employee, climbed up the ranks, because I'm mostly speaking to leaders, mid and senior management. They now want to get the overview of how an organization engages, so that they're not just stuck to their technical area. Some people have held positions for board positions, for regional positions. So think through who you are and what kind of goals you have for your career, so that you can engage in things that add to your profile and that add your value, that grow you, and that you would be willing to commit to, not just during the coronavirus crisis, but moving forward. And then create the strategies that are uniquely yours, which means, okay, so I am able to do this, but I'm engaging remotely. The way I would do this is I can give my hours, on this time of the week. The way I work is I won't be present, but I will just deliver. So can we have a contract that just states the deliverables that I'm expected, to put in? You can look at how best you do it. Maybe you'll say, given the context I'm in, I don't have the quiet to be able to engage with people and have conversations, but when everything is quiet, I'm able to record certain things and send them in, or I'm able to write documents and send them in. Whatever it is that you feel like would be the best strategy for you to reach your goals, write those down as well, because we're soon going to talk about monetizing your skill set, monetizing your strengths, your talents. So one goal, like I said, could be your career. What are your career goals? Another is financial. Hello. At the end of the day, right? I mean, we're doing things to fulfill purpose and to serve the communities we're called to, but we're also going to eat and live and thrive and pay the bills. So have financial goals as well. What are your goals? So part of what we're doing here is a personal budget. I'm telling you guys, when you do programs with me, like, I'm all up in your business. I don't have to see it, but I do require you to do it. So here's a personal budget. Of course, it spills over to the other side. And this template will have you capture, and I'll tell you why in a minute. It'll have you capture your current income, your expenditures, and including giving, including investments, if it's savings, property, shares, stocks, and other investments that you have, your housing, rent, owner's tax. uh, Maybe you have a caretaker at your home, your utilities, electricity, water, gas, whatever else you might be paying for, groceries, food, drinks. What else do I have out here? Outing, subscriptions that you have, personal care, salon. Well, I guess we're not going to salon no more. Some of us have wigs on. Toiletries, medical checkups. If it's transport, well, transport costs are kind of low right now, right? Fuel, vehicle service, if it's public transport, taxis, insurance, if you have life insurance. People are like, what? Life? Yes, life insurance, health, renters, vehicles. Think through start with the income you have, and then all the expenditures, right? And this is what I also ask people to do. And I know this sounds crazy in times of crisis, but I ask you, because you are considering getting a new opportunity in times of crisis, I ask you to not only look at your current expenditures, and maybe things are tight. I want you to look at what would allow you to live comfortably. Some people might even go as far as to live lavishly, but I say, what kind of income would allow you to live comfortably? So write down the expenses you expect to have. Now, maybe some of them are not monthly, maybe some of them are quarterly, but you can split it up so that you can see a monthly breakdown, so that you can compare what you are earning in your income and what your expenditure costs are. And that way, when you're considering any new opportunity, you're going to remember your financial goal and say, there is no point in me, one person who has 24 hours and only so much energy, to engage in anything that doesn't give me the kind of financial returns I need. Now, I already put a disclaimer. I said I am about to engage in an opportunity that doesn't pay, but I know the returns are far greater than the amount. But when I do engage in opportunities that pay, I must think of my financial goals, because some of us could get in a context where, because of being desperate to just get whatever comes our way, we take on opportunities that don't give us anything close to what we're looking for. Now, again, I want to say this. maybe not just the one thing you do will give you all the income that you want, which is why we're talking about diversifying income, right? But you will know, you will have a financial figure. If I'm going to engage in new opportunities in my career, this is how much I need to earn monthly, which is not just what I'm spending at home, but investing as well and saving and all kinds of other things. You've got school fees, for your children, etc. Then you'll say, so this should give me this much. Maybe 50% of this comes from my day job. Another whatever percent comes from this. Another whatever percent comes from this. So that when you are presented with opportunities, oh, I need water, but I don't have water. I have coffee. 1 second. So that when you are presented with opportunities, you don't just get excited. And of course, we're going to talk about this when we're talking about negotiating, right? You don't just get excited and just take it. You have to consider, okay, so I said my day job is going to bring this much of my, my budget, and this one will bring in this much, and that one, okay, so no matter what I negotiate here, no matter what I'm engaging in, considering I'm just one person with 24 hours, I cannot commit to things, too many things. So the few things I'm committing to should give me the returns I'm looking for. So that's goal number 2. Goal number 1 is just your career. Where are you going? Where did you want to take your career? Even before, coronavirus hit and the world's been on lockdown and people are losing their jobs. And yours may well, could be, in danger as well. So not just, for coronavirus, not just for the global crisis, but just you in general. Where were you going in your career? Where were you going in your life? Put that down as a goal and come up with strategies to be able to forge ahead with that. Even if, let's say, oh, I've delayed my education, I've deferred, I'll do it another time. Even if it's saying, okay, this was going to be the plan, I was going to do it in 2 years, but at this point, I want to comfortably do it in 3 or 4. It's fine. I still want you to, think through your strategies. And the second goal is financial. Where did I want to go professionally, but also financially? What are my financial goals so that when these opportunities come, remember, everybody has an agenda. People coming to you, they already know what they seek from you, not because it's malicious, not because they're planning to use you. That just simply is what it is. So you also need to know what your goals are: professional, financial. You could have a third goal that is family related. So if you're thinking there's certain things that I want to do, but they will get in the way of my time with my family, they will get in the way of me being there for my children, they will get in the way, you need to consider these things as well. If, for instance, I remember there was a context where somebody was giving me an opportunity, and that opportunity would get me away from my kids, which means I needed somebody to take care of my kids. But the cost of paying somebody to take care of my kids was going to be far greater every single week than the opportunity. So I had to pass on the opportunity. For me to go do this work, somebody would have to be taking care of my little kids. And this is years ago when they were much younger, right? But what I was going to earn and what they wanted me to do was all going to go towards the care of my children. So of course I passed up the opportunity, but I created a situation, which is where I am with you guys, that I'm able to work from home, I'm able to be with the kids, and I guess bag more than I would have if I had to leave. So you must also consider your own your own situation. This phone is telling me it's got 5 more minutes, so it's going to switch on me. But I'll get you guys back on Facebook. Yep, it's yours. All right. So then after you've looked at your professional goals, your financial goals, and possibly your family goals, right? As you're planning out your career right now, as you're considering opportunities that people are bringing your way, I want you to also consider, because remember I said maybe you're not going to earn everything from the one stream of income. Maybe you won't all come from your job. You're going to diversify. I want to talk about today in career planning what to consider when you want to diversify your skill set, diversify your strengths, your talents. So number 1 is to ask yourself, what do I do best? What is it that I consistently do really well, that I can do in my sleep, that I don't even notice time go by? Like, I'm just a natural with this thing and I love it. Note down all those things. So I was like, I wrote down here whether it's writing, it's accounting, it's design, management, cooking, mechanical things, or whatever it is that you feel like this is my sweet spot. This is like I'm in my zone when I'm doing this thing. And then ask yourself, who needs this right now? Who needs this product? Who needs this service right now? So you're mapping out. I've been talking about target audience a lot. You guys, if you haven't seen my videos, please go back to previous videos on Instagram and YouTube and on Facebook, and I've shared them on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. Who are you speaking to? So who needs these services the most right now? Who needs this product the most right now? Because guess what? Because of the crisis, some things are really polarized. So some things are in one extreme. So people that used to take up certain services maybe don't. People who didn't maybe now have started. So it's a different thing. The market is different. Do not assume anything about your market, please. Please do your research. Find out who at the moment needs your services the most. And so, that would be your niche market. Who are they? What is their profile? What specifically is their challenge, their problem? How can you solve it? And at what point, at what price point, and in what offer and package would they be willing to pay for it? Because it's not just to check who has the greatest need, it's also who can pay for it, right? Right? Are we still together, guys? Is this working for you? Can I please get a thumbs up if this content now is speaking to you when you consider it career planning in times of crisis? I just want to do a little check-in because I've been going a little bit. I am just another 15 months, 15 minutes, and I'll be done. 15 months. Hey, we're not. All right. Thank you, Anira. Thank you so much. Just wanted to find out from you guys. If this, give me a thumbs up if this is helping you. I want you to think things through because we could get into, thank you, Dorothy. We could get into some things later. You're like, man, I gave my word, but this thing is not on terms I am comfortable with at all. I will tell you, put your big boy and your big girl's pants up and follow through because you went into this. You should have thought through what you were committing to before you did it. Facebook, like I told you, you're going to go off in a little bit, but I'm going to get you right back on. So that's the first thing. What are my strengths? What are my skill set? What can I do for people? Who needs this the most right now? Not only understanding their profile, but also understanding whether they would be willing to part with their money for it, because we are monetizing our skill sets right now. We do want to make money out of this. And then strategies. So what have I written here? What is my current position? Because remember, guys, stop committing to things you cannot agree to. There you go in the marketplace committing to something and your spouse says that's not practical for us. The family can't have you gone for that long. The family can't have you using this equipment that way. That we've got the in-laws, whatever. You need to come up with strategies that work for you and work for your family. Many times we go charging ahead as the individual, forgetting that we come in a context. We come in a relational context. So you need to look at the strategies that work for you. Not just in your skill sets and how you can offer them, but also, in just your current lifestyle and commitments. And then ask yourself, how can I reach them? So who is uniquely affected by this area that I can offer services and products to? And how can I reach them in the context that you are in and in the context of the greater global challenge that we're in? And then after that, so you started with your skill set, you went to the niche market, you asked yourself kind of strategies. Ignore a limit for today, please ignore the limits. Facebook, you're back. I saved ya. I ignored the limit for today. Guys, my husband and I have these limits on social media so that we don't get carried away, because I need to admit, so I'm like bordering addict if I'm not already a social media addict, and I'm not always putting meaningful things. Anyway, side note, right? Okay, moving along. And then ask yourself, what kind of investment will it take me to be able to offer this as a service? So what will I need? People, equipment, skill sets, maybe technology. Will I need, a work area? What will I need? Think that through. I am such now an avid, I don't know, I'm just so adamant about thinking things through, because I have started businesses, guys, in the plural in the past. And I honestly just went, I rolled with things, and I didn't think through what the actual investment was going to be. And halfway through, you could get to a situation where you weren't able to continue with something because you hadn't foreseen everything. And I would not want you to be there. So think of the resources that you need, and even the cost. What will it cost you to create an offer, to create a service, to create a product that you can deliver to people in the way, the unique way that you are ready to deliver it to them? And then package it into offers that people can see that this particular product is what you're offering us. This particular service is what you're offering us. And let people know then, what did I write here? How they can simply access your product and service. And remember the times we're in. People are not going to meet with you. People are not going to be touching a lot of things that are being touched by other people. So you have to consider that as well because of the coronavirus. But I also want you to consider, the practicality of serving these people, this target audience you've identified as really uniquely in need of your services and your product right now. So how can they access it simply? How can they access it quickly? And how can they pay simply and quickly? That's something sometimes we don't think through. Either if you're working as a consultant and as a freelancer, or you've got products and services, people have options. Either people will do things themselves at home, they will get somebody else who may even offer, a lesser service or a lesser product, but just simply because they can access it quickly, that they can pay quickly, that they can be done with the whole thing. People don't want it to be such a task to access your products and services. You're the one who says you can serve me. You're the one who says you have a product for me. I am interested in it. Please don't make me jump hoops and climb mountains to access it. So you have to think through, what am I packaging? Because it also has to be packaged. It has to be clear what you're offering. What are you saying? What is your call to action? And then how can I simply, quickly be able to access and pay for it? And I'm almost finishing, my people. And then now you looked at what it to create something you can take to people from your skill sets, from your talents, from your strengths, right? You're now going to look at what you will sell it, what you will be able, what price point, what fee you will attach to it so that you can make a profit. And where does this profit comes from? This profit is going to come from, remember your financial goal. Remember the fact that when you diversify your income and when you are optimizing your different talents and being able to earn from them, you had a financial figure. You had a monthly figure of what you were expecting to earn from your different endeavors. So when you're now putting things to market, you must consider the financial cost to putting things to market, but you must also consider what you are charging people. Because many a times, just so that we can get clients, we charge anything. And then we realize we are so far in the red because the income we're bringing in doesn't even get us to a point where we're breaking even. That is not wise. That is a situation where you're going to start bailing out on people. You're going to start running away, switching off your phone. You're going to start pretending some relative has died somewhere. You're going to, please let us not do that. You must think through, plan through, so that not only when you're looking at diversifying your income streams and looking at how to monetize your talents and your skills, you're able to also look at not just the cost of putting something to market, but the fee that you will charge so that you can make a profit. And that profit is what you had already planned for when you had put down your financial goals. So you're saying, I said my day job will bring me 50% of my income every month. This income from all the expenditures that I said, I'm going to have, me and my family, for us to live well. I said that this side hustle that I'm going to do after work will bring in this percentage. And this other thing that I'm doing, maybe I've written books, maybe I put something to market, maybe I've got tutorials or whatever it is going to bring this much. This then means when you get to negotiating, you are aware of the costs for you to put your products out to market, your services out to market, and you are pricing it so that however many number of units of what you mean to sell, what you mean to put to market, will generate the kind of revenues that when you remove the costs will give you the profit you wanted to make from that income stream. And I don't know, I'm going into language and some people are like, all right, Modesty, taking it far. But this is just to say, let's think it through. And then finally, you will see not only that it's met your financial goals during these times of crisis, but you'll also notice it's probably brought you that much closer to your professional goal. Because many a times your professional goal is not just what you want to fulfill, you want to impact, in terms of your purpose and your vision, but it's also uh, one of the motivators of moving higher up in our career and having greater influence is also higher up pays better, right? Greater responsibility, greater complexity in our work, but it also pays better. And so you would find when you are deliberate about your professional goal, your financial goal, and your family goal, and you're able to diversify your talents and monetize your skill sets in a way that you're uniquely built to do, who at this point really needs this service? How do I want to serve them? What kind of package will I put together? What will it cost me to do that? What kind of fees will I charge so that I can get the returns that I want? Those returns will also, maybe they'll move you further ahead in your educational goals. Maybe you were building, maybe it's insurance, whatever it is that you had aspired for. When you think it through like this, when you plan your career like this, you're not just going to be tossed about by whoever shows up, however things show up because you were desperate, but you will remain in control because whatever has happened now, even if it's happened at a global scale, guys, you can zoom into your life in your context and be on the driver's seat of how you and your family will weather it. Which is why when I started out, I said, I know it's global. And I know you could look at your market and you could see a lot of people affected. And I know you might look at it and you've heard stories of individuals who you thought were far better positioned in their careers than you are. And you wonder, well, it's going to hit them. Why wouldn't it hit me? I don't want you to do that to yourself because you're setting yourself up for failure. I want you to just look at who you are, what it is you've accomplished thus far, which is a lot. And then now in the times you're in, how you can diversify what you have and be able to package and offer it in a way, not only will you earn continuously throughout the crisis, but you will also be doing things that are completely aligned and that resonate with your heart, they resonate with your values, your purpose, your vision, your mission. You are not a victim. You're not at a disadvantage right now. I know the statistics and are screaming loud, and I know when we're watching, even let's say large nations, the decisions they're making to lock down, the decisions companies are making, the people are unemployed. I know that screams so loud to us at the moment. But I want you to do this exercise in your career planning. Think of your values, vision, mission. Your values, purpose, vision, mission. Set some goals, your career goals, your financial goals, your family goals, and come up with strategies that you are uniquely positioned to offer and the market at the moment can currently absorb. Um, Consider the cost, do that personal budget that I just showed you. What are you earning? What are really your expenses? And how can you diversify your skill sets? How can you monetize your talents in a way that you can get a certain percentage of your income from your day job, maybe a certain percentage from another area? Diversify your portfolio so that you never, ever again depend on just the one stream of income. It is not practical, especially when it is something that requires you to be active, that requires you to be working. So, should you be unwell, should anything happen to you, you won't be earning, your family won't be earning. So, the coronavirus has come as a wake up call. We all need to diversify our incomes, but we need to do it in such a way that we are mindful of our personal goals. We are mindful of where we wanted to go even before this, hiccup came up. I'm calling it a hiccup for lack of a better word at the moment. We are mindful of what our career plans, our financial goals, our family goals were, so that when you engage with people, which you know will have their own agenda, not maliciously necessarily, it's just that's what people do. Everybody has an agenda of why they want to engage you. You too know why you want to engage. You know your values. You know your income goals. You know where you wanted to go in your career in a certain number of years. You know where the family wants to go, and you engage in things that you are ready, once you sign on the dotted line, to commit to wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter it's a side hustle. It doesn't matter that you're doing it to help. It does not matter. Which is why this first thing that we're doing today, career planning, is so key for you moving forward. Let not this crisis to be more deliberate in really asking yourself who you are, where you're going, and on what terms you want to get there, career wise, financial, family, and any other area you think is key for you. And I think those three are the major, the biggies. What kind of impact that you want to have, what kind of income, on what terms, so that when you commit, you follow through. You are fully present in your day job and you're giving your all. You're fully present at your side hustle. You're fully present in that book that you put out. You're fully present for for that nonprofit that you're engaging with. Fully present, fully delivered. Because this time, the times we're in, not only by doing this, not only will it keep you earning constantly because you've diversified your income and you're very clear about your financial goals from the different clusters in your portfolio, but also you're going to add value to your portfolio. We're not just going to have a knee-jerk reaction and grab anything that comes our way. We're going to be very deliberate about what kind of opportunities we're going to align ourselves with, and we will thrive not only in this time when everybody else is floundering, but we will use this to launch. This will catapult us to an even greater level in our career and in our finances and in our livelihood. All right, my people, I love you. I am grateful that you spent, we're going into an hour, my peeps, with me. I can't see who's in YouTube. I see there are three people, but I can't see exactly who they are. But I want to say thank you to those that I can see on, who do I have here? I have Instagram. Oh, I have Irene. Hey, my sis. Carlo Maria, get some MC Pima, Josephine, Chicks Point, NM Swai, Lungo, Sweet Betha, Mole, Kami Bambi, Jerusimbi. That's Rachel. I see you. Anira, because my brother Andrew. Hey, my bugs. Kobugara, Amos, Muthoni, Epi Mac. Guys, your names. I love them. Ceci, Caroline, Linda, Albert, Home Lab, Yam Ram, Letty. What, Angie? What? I said, guys, guys, yeah. Danielle, Grace, thank you. Level, hey, Level. James, who do I have here? Happy, Chris. Hi, Chris. Paul, Aniki, loving you. Franklin, Kessie, Jules, Abigail, Matilda, Georgette, Bruna. Hey, my odds, Remy, as always. John, hi, John. Happiness, Bidan. I hope I said your name right. Lissa Rain, I like your name. Marin, hi, my sis. Euronimo, Edmund, hi, my brother. Hassan, hi. God living, just a Stephen, Save, Clive, hi, Clive, Esther. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. And let's meet again on the live tomorrow when we're talking about reviewing your CV. How are you going to do that in times of crisis? Have a wonderful day. Please share these videos with people in your network. Let's just grow together. Let's debunk the myths. Let's get settled, not panic, and do what we can. That which we can control, let's do the best we can by it. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Much love from me. Bye. And ending. Bye, you two. This is lovely.